One of the most exciting things about what the Patriots are doing right now isn't just the influx of talent, they're building a culture of accountability. Think about it. With all these new signings and some truly bold draft picks, every player on that roster knows they've got to elevate their game. You can feel the competitive fire starting to burn a little hotter in Foxborough. And right in the middle of that fire is a guy who, in my opinion, is already proving he's built different. Kyle Williams. Now, when the organization was asked to describe Kyle in just one word, they went with dedicated. Not athletic, not promising, not explosive. No, they chose dedicated. And I think that's telling. That one word says everything about the kind of mindset this guy brings to the locker room and the field. It's not just about talent, though. He has plenty. It's about the commitment, the drive, the relentless effort to be better every single day. Kyle Williams is stepping into a receiver room that's wide open. There's no clear number one guy who's locked in for every snap. That means Kyle has a real chance to carve out a role early. If he performs well in camp, if he makes those clutch plays in preseason, we could see him catching passes from Drake May under the lights on Sunday. And let me tell you, he's got the tools to make that happen. He's explosive off the line, he runs sharp routes, and he's got that rare ability to go up and high point the football. You add that to the Patriots' current offensive blueprint, and suddenly you've got a potential difference maker. But this isn't just about physical traits. What sets Kyle apart is that chip on his shoulder, that underdog mentality. He started out at UNLV, not exactly a powerhouse, and then transferred to Washington State. Now, if you follow college football, you know Washington State isn't the flashiest name in the Pac-12. It's not one of those programs that dominate the headlines. But what's special about Kyle is that he didn't just go there to fill a roster spot. He went there and made noise. He stood out. In a system that wasn't necessarily built to highlight wide receivers the way some others are, he still found ways to make an impact. That's resilience. That's dedication. That's a guy who doesn't need the spotlight to shine. And that's what makes this so exciting for Patriots fans. Kyle Williams is walking into a team that values effort. They respect the grind. They've always been about hard-nosed football, and now they're mixing in a new generation of talent that fits that mold perfectly. If you're a fantasy football manager, keep an eye on him. If you're a Patriots fan, start learning his name, because he's got that it factor. And let's be honest, there's something refreshing about watching a young guy who's clearly not entitled, who's had to fight for every snap, every reception, every yard, finally get a shot at the pros. Now, I know a lot of you out there are already backing the defense hard. And I get it. Guys like Polk and Baker have been putting in the work. And the coaching staff went through some serious challenges last season. Injuries, scheme shifts, consistency issues. You name it, they had it. So it's fair to want to see that defense bounce back strong. And I do think they will. But we can't ignore the fact that this offense, especially the receiving core, needed a spark. And Kyle Williams might just be that spark. Let's not forget either that we're not talking about some big-name five-star recruit who was handed everything. We're talking about a guy who had to prove himself, who had to earn every opportunity, who had to walk into every practice knowing he wasn't guaranteed a thing. That kind of hunger? You can't teach that. That's built over years of being doubted, overlooked, and still showing up and doing the work. That's the kind of mentality you want in your locker room. And look, I'm not saying he's going to walk in and be the next Randy Moss. But what I'm saying is that he's got all the traits of a high-level contributor. He plays with a sense of urgency. He's got strong hands. He tracks the deep ball well, and he doesn't shy away from contact. Plus, he's got that vertical ability that could really help stretch the field, especially in an offense that's looking to open things up more this season. Throw in someone like Stephon Diggs commanding attention on the outside, and suddenly Kyle's got a lot of favorable matchups to exploit. Also, let's talk about that word again, dedicated. It's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to live it. And from everything we've seen and heard, Kyle Williams lives it. He's the first guy in, last guy out type, eh? He studies film like a veteran. He doesn't just want to be good, he wants to be great. And when you put that kind of work ethic next to raw talent, that's when special things start to happen. And speaking of special, there's another name that's been making waves lately. Marcus Jones. Now, if you don't remember, Marcus was an all-pro returner not long ago. He's had his ups and downs. Since then, no doubt. But there's a reason people are high on him again this year. He's healthy, he's hungry, and he's got support around him. Christian Gonzalez is another young guy with all-pro potential. And when you've got players like that in the secondary, it gives your entire defense a different level of confidence. Clayton Davis, the third, adds more depth. And if he can stay healthy, we're looking at a seriously improved group of cornerbacks. That's crucial because last year the defense had some real issues with consistency. But this season, it feels like the energy is different. There's momentum, there's purpose. Marcus Jones in particular seems poised to take that next step. Not just as a returner, but as a legitimate slot defender who can make plays in coverage and bring that extra burst off the edge when needed. Last year, he even got some snaps on offense. And sure, it wasn't a huge sample size, but it showed the kind of versatility he brings. That's something the Patriots can absolutely use. If you got a guy who can shift roles mid-game, create mismatches, and keep defenses guessing, that's a weapon. And it looks like Marcus has taken that challenge personally. He's ready to prove that he can be more than just a return man. He wants to be known as a complete football player. And here's something wild. He played more defensive snaps last season than ever before, over 580. That's not a small number. And what's even better is that he graded out really well. So not only is he getting the reps, he's making them count. That kind of progression is what coaches love to see. It's one thing to have potential, it's another to convert that into production. And Marcus Jones is doing that. So heading into this season, all signs point to him being the starting slot corner once again. He's earned that role. The question now is how far he can take it. Can he turn solid play into elite play? Can he become a game changer in the secondary? With his athleticism and instincts, it's absolutely possible. And before we wrap this part up, there's one more angle I want to hit. There's this story going around about one of the veterans bonding with a younger player over a round of golf. And look, I know that sounds random, but it's actually kind of telling because what it shows is that these vets are invested. They're not just showing up, collecting checks and clocking out. They're mentoring, they're building relationships. That kind of chemistry matters a lot. This particular vet is known for having a cannon of a swing, like we're talking drives that sail over 300 yards. And that kind of raw power might be fun on the golf course, but on the football field, it translates to leadership and energy. He's been around the league, seen different locker rooms, different coaching styles, and he's bringing all of that wisdom into a new situation. That's invaluable, especially for a team in transition like the Patriots. Now, I'm not saying this one interaction over golf is going to change the course of the season, but it does give us a glimpse into the culture shift that's happening behind the scenes. These guys care. They're building something. And if players like Kyle Williams, Marcus Jones, and the rest of the young core keep progressing like they have, this could be the start of something special. So let me ask you this. Are you buying the hype? Is Kyle Williams the real deal? Have you been hearing his name more than others in this rookie class? Because I know I have. And the more I watch, the more I listen, the more I believe he's got the tools, the mindset, and the situation to become a standout in New England. Let me know what you think. And here's where it gets even more interesting. While a lot of the buzz has been focused on Kyle Williams and Marcus Jones, there's another name that keeps floating under the radar. Someone who could quietly become one of the most valuable pieces in this Patriots rebuild. This player may not have the same level of media attention, but those inside the building are watching him closely. He's the kind of guy who doesn't need the spotlight to make an impact. You can feel it from the way his teammates talk about him, the way the coaching staff positions him, and even from the way the veterans have embraced him. That kind of silent respect says a lot. He's been moving through the system, learning fast, adapting faster, and there's this growing feeling that he might just explode onto the scene when no one's expecting it. One story that really stood out was about a golf match. Yeah, a golf story in the middle of football talk, but hear me out. A veteran player was chatting with a teammate about a recent round of golf, and the way he described this guy's swing, it was like watching a rocket take off. We're talking drives that push well beyond 300 yards. But more than the raw power, what stood out was the connection being formed. It's moments like that off the field that help build real chemistry. When players start to bond like that, when you've got older guys mentoring younger ones in casual settings, it creates a foundation of trust that shows up on Sundays. It's not something you'll see on a stat sheet, but it matters. It changes how a team communicates, how they play for each other, and how they respond when things get tough. The vet in question has been through a lot. Different teams, different systems, and even some injuries. But the way he's taken on the role of mentor, you can see he's not just here to finish out his career quietly. He's here to help shape this locker room. That's exactly the kind of presence a team like this needs. Someone who can guide the younger guys through the ups and downs, keep the energy focused, and remind everyone what it takes to succeed at the highest level. And this young player he's bonding with, he's listening, he's watching, he's soaking it all in. You can tell he wants it. What's fascinating is that we've already seen glimpses of him being used in unexpected ways. Last season, he got a handful of snaps on offense, not a ton, but just enough to show what he could offer. Think jet sweeps, motion plays, designed chaos to throw defenses off balance. It didn't always work, but it gave us a peek into how the coaches view his versatility. He's not just a one-role guy. He's the type who can fit into different packages and slide into special teams, rotate through defensive alignments, and maybe even make a couple big plays on offense when the timing's right. And let's be real, that kind of versatility is gold in today's NFL. Coaches love players who can fill multiple roles, especially when injuries start piling up in the middle of the season. It's those utility-type guys who suddenly become the glue holding everything together. And when they've got athleticism and football IQ on top of that, you're looking at a potential breakout story waiting to happen. Another reason to believe this guy could pop is the system itself. The Patriots have shifted philosophies over the last couple seasons, leaning more into flexibility and creativity. It's not the same rigid formula from the past. There's more room now for improvisation, for players to play fast and free, and that's exactly what fits his style. He's instinctive, he reacts quickly, and he's got the kind of short area quickness that lets him recover even when a play breaks down. Give a player like that some freedom and good things happen. Now, I don't want to oversell it. We're still talking about a guy with limited NFL reps. There's a lot of growth ahead. But when you watch the tape, when you see how he moves, how he reads the game, you start to realize why so many inside the organization are quietly confident. He doesn't need to be flashy. He just needs to be consistent. Stack a few solid weeks together, make the right reads, deliver in the clutch. That's how reputations are built in this league. And honestly, you can feel the hunger from this new wave of players. It's not about big contracts or endorsements for them. It's about proving they belong. It's about seizing the moment. And when a team is filled with that kind of mentality, from rookies grinding for their first shot to veterans rediscovering their purpose, you've got something powerful in the making. That's why heading into this season, I'm paying close attention to more than just the big names. The stars are important, no doubt. But it's the underdogs, the grinders, the players who show up early and leave late that often flip a team's narrative. And something tells me this group has more than a few of those guys ready to leave their mark. Let me know what you think. Who are you most excited about this season? Is there a player flying under the radar that you've been watching closely? Drop your thoughts, because this could be the year when someone unexpected becomes the name everyone's talking about. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a shocking turn of events that has left the NFL world buzzing, TJ Watt, the highly sought-after defensive player, has officially signed a 3-year contract with the New England Patriots. The rumor that had been circulating for weeks was confirmed earlier today as Watt made the decision to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he had built a stellar career, to embark on a new chapter with one of the NFL's most storied franchises. The move to the Patriots is a monumental shift in the NFL landscape. Known for their strategic defensive schemes under head coach Bill Belichick, the Patriots have long been in need of a game-changing player who can wreak havoc on opposing offenses. Watt, whose pass rushing prowess and ability to disrupt plays have earned him a reputation as one of the best in the game, seems like the perfect fit for the Patriots' defensive scheme. Watt's signing also marks a significant moment in the ongoing evolution of the Patriots roster. The team has been in a period of transition since the departure of longtime quarterback Tom Brady in 2020, and adding a player of Watt's caliber signals that the franchise is committed to reloading rather than rebuilding. With a player like Watt anchoring the defense, New England aims to strengthen its playoff aspirations with a renewed focus on the defensive side of the ball. TJ Watt's move to the Patriots comes on the heels of a career that includes multiple Pro Bowls, All-Pro selections, and a reputation as one of the most disruptive pass rushers in the NFL. Over the years, Watt has shown an uncanny ability to change the course of a game, and his presence will undoubtedly elevate the Patriots' defense to new heights. His leadership on and off the field, along with his relentless motor, is expected to provide a significant boost to the team's defensive identity. For the Steelers, the loss of Watt is a tough blow. He had become the heart and soul of their defense, and his absence will be deeply felt in Pittsburgh. However, the move was inevitable, as the Patriots were more than willing to match the market for a player of Watt's caliber, making him one of the highest paid defenders in the league. As for the Patriots, the future now looks brighter. With Watt in the fold, the team's defensive unit gains a dominant edge rusher who can put pressure on quarterbacks and disrupt offensive plays at critical moments. Belichick, who is known for his meticulous approach to defense, will surely relish the opportunity to mold Watt into an even more effective force within his complex defensive schemes. This signing also speaks to the Patriots' ambition to challenge for a Super Bowl in the coming years. With an elite pass rusher like Watt on the roster, New England has positioned itself as a serious contender in the AFC. As the 2025 season approaches, all eyes will be on Watt as he dons the Patriots uniform, eager to make an immediate impact and solidify his legacy as one of the NFL's all-time greats. The decision to join the Patriots may have seemed like a surprise, but it's one that fans, analysts, and players alike will be watching closely as the team looks to return to championship glory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about your New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.